finally made it to 1,000 subscribers. Thank y'all all so much. It is just such a cool feeling knowing that there's 1,000 people out there that enjoy my videos enough to actually click that subscribe button. So thank y'all so much. It means the world to me. And to show my appreciation, I want to do a little giveaway. It's nothing extreme, but I wanted to do something to show that I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for subscribing. So, if you've been watching my channel for a while, then you know that I typically fish with just a handful of lures. I've got a few go-to lures that I use just about every time. So I thought it would be kind of fun to put together a tackle box full of the lures that I like to use and send it out to one of you 1,000 subscribers and let y'all fish some of the lures that I've been fishing. So let me show you what we've got here. Okay, so first thing, we got this little tackle box here to hold them all. And we have got just about everything that I like to fish with. So gold spoon, I don't use this a ton, but y'all have seen me use this, especially when I'm fishing out at the jetties or something like that. Everyone should have a gold spoon in their saltwater tackle box. And then of course, there's the down south lures. You've seen me fish with these all the time, just about every time I go out. So I've got the chicken of the sea, and I've got my all-time favorite, the bone diamond. To go with the down south lures, I picked up some of the down south lure jig heads. These have been really good. They're simple, but they've got that screw lock on there. I really like them, so I wanted to include a package of these. And finally, the good old Super Spook Junior. And this is the bone color, I think. Yeah, bone color. So this is a topwater that I throw very often, just all around good topwater lure that everyone should have in their tackle box. And the last thing, I wanted to include a popping cork. Y'all see me fish with these. It's always kind of my last ditch effort is to throw a popping cork. If I'm having a hard time catching fish, I can throw on a popping cork and usually find something to bite. So I wanted to throw in a big ballin' popping cork, as this one's called. There it is. This is going to be the Schwind Outdoors 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Okay, and here's the way it's gonna work. If you have ever left me a comment on any of my videos, you are automatically in the drawing. And in fact, the more you have commented, the greater odds you will have of winning. So for each time you comment, your name's gonna get thrown into the pot. And it will also include this video. So if you leave a comment on this video as well, then I'll include your name into the drawing. I have been working pretty hard on this boat since the last time that I showed it to you, so I thought it was about time to do another update video on the Skiff. Where we left off last, I was just about to glue on the forward deck and then start the fiberglass on the top side. So that has all been done. Let me just walk you through exactly what I've done since the last time that I showed you this boat. Okay, so you can see I got the forward deck glued on. So that was a big step. The other thing that I did that took quite a bit of time actually is on these rails, there was, since it's two pieces of 1-bys that sandwiched the plywood right here, in between the 1-bys and the plywood, there was a real deep gap. And that gap had to be filled. So you can see I filled it with that fairing compound, and then I went back over the top and I sanded it all down smooth. So you can see it is nice and smooth all the way down. So that's gonna finish out real nicely, I think. So after that was done, I went ahead and I fiberglassed the entire top side of the boat. And you can't really see the fiberglass now because I've got it covered in this fairing compound, but you can see the remnants of the fiberglass. You can see where it was all kind of messy in here. So fiberglass the entire top side, and then I went back with the fairing compound and I faired it. And that's what this cream colored stuff is on top. So what this does is it allows me to hide the seams of my fiberglass, like right here. And it also fills any divots or just low spots, and then I can later come back in here and sand it all smooth, and it will ultimately be as smooth as this down here. So it's kind of like Bondo for boats. It allows you to fill in the low spots and then kind of even out the high spots. So I've got the entire top side faired. Now it doesn't look very pretty right now. It's not in the prettiest state at the moment, and that's because I've just got it applied. The next step is come back in here and sand it all down smooth. I'll sand all this down to where it is just smooth as can be. Now I'm not quite as concerned about making the deck as perfect as I was the sides, and that's because the deck is going to be covered in a marine mat. It's going to be a deck mat, an adhesive type system that sticks to the deck. It'll protect the deck, but it also hides the deck. So I'm not too terribly worried about making this look just perfect. But I do want to come in here and fill in the gaps like this. Like you can see here, this was a gap between two pieces of fiberglass. So that fairing compound allows me to come in here and even that out. And now this is all flush right here. So there's not going to be a low spot underneath that marine mat that holds water or just becomes a weak spot over time. So the next step with this boat is going to be sand it all down as smooth as possible. And then I will prime it and I'll paint it. So fingers crossed, I should be fishing out of this thing in August. That is the goal, and I think I can make it happen. I am not too far away from that. So, okay, now I've got something really, really cool I want to show you. So the entire boat is handmade. So the last thing I wanted to do was go out and just buy a push pole. Not only are they super expensive, but I wanted to stick with the whole homemade boat theme. So I called my dad. He's an excellent carpenter, and I asked him what his opinion was, and he said he had a board. I think it was a 1x6, and it was 14 feet long. It was a cypress board, and he told me he thought he might be able to make me a cypress push pole out of that board. And I said, that sounds awesome, Dad. I don't really know how you're going to turn a board into a push pole, but he had some ideas, and dang if he didn't figure it out. Check this out. So this here is my cypress push pole. It's 14 feet long, the same length as the boat, and you can see he was able to turn this thing into a pole. He went from a board to a pole, and look how beautiful that is. I mean, that wood grain is just so cool. It looks so much better than your typical push pole that you'd buy, and I gotta tell you, it just feels good. It feels good in your hand. It's light. Cypress is super light, so I don't know how heavy the ones you can buy are, but this sucker is light. So it's gonna be really comfortable to use. I don't think it's gonna wear me out easily after a long time of push poling. So I just love this. I cannot wait to get out in the marsh and go stalk some redfish using this push pole. I think it's going to be perfect. So thank you, Dad, for the push pole. This is an awesome gift, and I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of use out of it. So one other thing that I want to do to the boat before I paint it is I want to come up with some type of push pole holder. I was thinking something like those posts. You see the posts that you kind of weave your push pole through. But if I were to put one like right here, and then another one back here, and have some bungee cords affixed to it, I could just, butt that push pole up against the two, bungee them in, and they would stay. My concern is there's such a bend in the side of this boat that I don't know if I could get away with 3. I don't think this pole would flex enough to make that bend, if you know what I mean. So I gotta solve that problem. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna rig up my push pole holder, because I certainly don't want it bouncing around the deck while I'm using the boat or going down the road. And then the other thing that I want to do is I want to put a board right here, just to give the motor a little more to grab a hold of. So those two things I want to do before I paint the boat, and then it'll be time to prime and paint, and then schedule a meeting with a game warden, I guess, to have this sucker inspected and I can get it registered, and then it's time to go fishing. My dad's going to be here in August. The goal is to have this thing ready for him so that we can go out together in August, and then I've got a trip to Port Mansfield scheduled in October, which I got to have this boat for that trip. So I've got some cool things in the future that I need this boat for, so I got to get it done soon. Something else that I did since the last video is I came in here, I don't know if you can see, but right in here, I've got some fiberglass tape. I put a strip here, and I put a strip down here on both sides and on both of these knee braces. So that just reinforces those things. You know, they're gonna be under a lot of stress, a lot of torque when I get that motor on and I'm running it. So I wanted to enforce these as best I could. So that should really help these things stay strong and last for a long time, hopefully. So I have hit 1,000 subscribers on the channel, and what that means is I'm this close to being monetized. That's really gonna change things. I think that's when I'm really gonna be able to do what I want with this channel, because I need some money to put into the channel to do the things that I wanna do. So I'm gonna be doing things like, I want to buy a nice camera, you know, get a decent camera. I love the GoPros, they're cool, but I want to get some more cinematic shots that require a higher grade camera. So that's going to be one of the first things that I purchase. Hopefully, as this channel continues to grow and progress and I become monetized, the content will get better, the trips will get better, and hopefully just the overall quality of the video will be more enjoyable to watch. So thank you all again for sticking with me, for hitting that subscribe button. It means the world to me. I'm more excited about this channel than ever before. So y'all stay tuned and stick with me. It's gonna be a pretty fun ride. Y'all have a great week, and I will see you next Tuesday. And don't forget, if you have never left me a comment before on any of my videos, go ahead and leave a comment below to be entered in the drawing for my tackle box giveaway.